played every day, and I could never win.
Did they you did see the cave at the end, right? Like you had to hop into that?
Yeah, and I tried jumping in, and every time I fell in the river.
But you're a frog.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. You're not a tortoise or whatever.
I don't know, man. I just know the PS1 Frogger was significantly less impossible.
It had a little more variety. A little bit more.
That was the one with like the different levels, right?
Let's see, let me steal all your hero points here.
I feel like my internet just died for about 2 seconds.
PS1.
It seems like you were talking and couldn't hear any of us, but we could hear you.
Oh, weird. Alright.
Okay. If we're good, would anyone like to start with a recap of last session for a hero point?
I will take the lead with no promises of pronunciation correctness.
Well, yeah, it's because we already know what your notes are.
Okay, so last session we met at the Cattle and Caveat for drinks and discussion, during which we talked with Marius, who was thinking that someone else on the council was responsible for the death we had witnessed, but we really didn't kind of follow that at all beyond that, I don't think. Solus had a great discussion with his Baba Yaga, who shared a vision of Explicita cutting off Naga noggins, which made Denala angry. Ludwig, Sonas, and Ben Griff went to the Test Your Metal Golemry and met with Olaf Metal. Got a quote on a couple of repairs that they wanted for robots and other cores. After which the group went to a holy site to cure a bunch of werewolves of lycanthropy. The annoying knight that we had not previously found the name of was obviously the only one that turned into a werewolf, and was summarily dispatched to unconsciousness. We then found out his name was Festus Aquia, if I'm saying that right. After that, we had a heart-to-heart with Ben Griff, who said he was staying home, gave us a diplomat bag so we could talk with him, and we prepared to head out towards Salamander Lake, also known as the Simmering Island. And I believe that's where we are.
Yeah, pretty much. I was asking which way you guys were headed, and it sounded like you were going kind of northeast right away. So, assuming we don't want to spend another session in town, question mark? Whoever wants to control the token can start. Let's put it this way, are you just following the road for the first while? Like, what's your planned path here?
I think Ludwig and Solus kind of discussed which way we were going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't remember, I don't know if I remember right or if it's just my bias, but I'm kind of
Maybe
assuming
it's because
y'all
you made
are.
a road encounter.
I think, Solus, you were thinking Green Rock Hill. I think that's where we landed. Does that sound right? Kind of go up that direction?
Yeah, let me. I
That'd
thought
be northeast.
we were just
yeah,
gonna go like this.
that sounds right to me.
So the math works out such that if you do that, you'll. I guess it might actually be about. Oh my god, it's the same. All right. Well, if you stay on the road, you get there the morning of the third day. If you don't take the road, you get there the night of the third day.
I was assuming the road if we could.
I guess we
Ludwig
could
would take
theoretically go like this. And then...
That will probably not save you. That you'll get there morning of the fourth day doing that.
This is
But
8.
Yeah, we have to travel by Hexus, though.
There's like no way to make it shorter other than just going like this.
All right, you would just say take the road.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That would be Ludwig's vote as well, because in theory, are we taking a cart or are we just walking?
Um,
Thought we were just walking because we're kind of going into enemy territory.
right. The cart might be cumbersome if you have to.
Okay.
But what if it's a cart with bombs on it?
I think all the fire enemies are going to be very happy about that.
What if they're ice bombs?
Oh, well, Good question. But barring that... So, I guess you guys start out on the road. You head out of Eden. I should put music on. You head out of Eden. Start walking. And, is that really loud for anyone else? It's because I have it twice. That's great. Hold on.
Do you have twice?
Yeah, because I have a second window up. Okay. That's a little more appropriate. Okay, sorry about that. So you guys start walking, and you see ahead of you that there's like another group walking on, like probably a mile in front of you, just leaving Eden pretty standard. They take the same kind of right turn you guys do at this road. And you're just kind of keeping pace with them. You're all going a steady travel walk speed. And it's going pretty calmly until about, I would say, around noon. And suddenly, as they're walking, like you see a couple of small figures running around in the distance, like kind of off the side of the road. And you can't super tell what the figures are, but then one of the soldiers traveling ahead of you, like, runs off the road with, you can see flashing steel raised above their head. And as you are still approaching, it seems like things kind of go to shit. All of like the soldiers kind of spread out and like engage these figures. As you get closer, they seem to be roughly dog-shaped.
Oh no.
You just had to put more dogs in.
We're going
Look,
back to Eden.
I-
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, we're
totally
carrying
around.
this trip around until
Yeah,
the council managed to solve this god dang canine problem.
Yeah, we need some dog catchers. But while that might temporarily be and might stay your biggest worry, as that's happening, a kind of larger, like right in the middle of the road, you see earth burst to the sides of the road, and up stands this like rock golem of some sort. And they see the fish like raise above its head and slam down, and like a soldier in front of it. Do you guys quicken your pace? What exactly do you? How do you deal with this?
So how many soldiers are there? Like,
It's a good unit. It's like, I would say you probably saw around 10. It's like roughly that sized.
How close are we to the like golem and the fighting?
A few hundred feet out, I would say.
I'm gonna look at Sonus and the rest of the party and be like, yeah, just let them die. He's going to eat them alive. I mean, not literally.
The dogs might.
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel anything in terms of like that elemental tingling?
Not yet, but you've had to get not within melee range, but you've had to get pretty close
Okay.
in the past.
And we can probably assume from past experience that there is something else summoning this golem, I assume?
That's like what that's essentially what I'm trying to figure out by it, because it seems
let's
like
see.
every other. Well,
So-
it seemed like in the past, every other time it could have been related to.
If you want to roll an let's see, what would it be? Sorry.
Please don't say that.
It's
An
definitely
underworld.
Arcana. Like,
I'll pay
Yeah,
you,
Arcana.
Hold on.
Or
These golems come from under the world?
I can give you much gold if you don't make me roll arcane.
you can also roll in nature. You have both of those options.
I will sure do nature.
All right, that's a successful check.
I'm just gonna roll. Yeah,
are you-
never mind. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. So, no, not always. Like you guys saw that ice wolf, before, and that seemed natural. Like
did that also trigger? You never told me that triggered that.
it seemed. Yeah, you got really like fuzzy, that kind of like
Okay.
needle on edge feeling.
Yeah, you
But-
said for the sand people.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the same feeling for both of those. Probably a little less for the wolf. And then when you calmed the wolf down, when you charmed
I
it,
charmed it.
yeah, that feeling went away. Like it turned into kind of just a if a dial tone could be warm and fuzzy and a feeling instead of a sound, that's what it would be. I don't know if that's a stretch. I don't know, but
Yeah, if Ludwig has a second, he'd like to hand out a couple of his potions, the healing potions to people.
yeah, technically you guys have all the time in the world to prep.
Yeah, I think I'll give one potion of healing to Eve and one to Solus.
Okay.
dogs are green. Are
yeah.
these
They are.
these are goblin dogs?
They're not goblin dogs, actually. You might think that from their green color, but one look at them, they've got like, as you get closer, they've got like kind of grass growing on their backs, and when you actually get close enough to observe their face, it's like kind of made out of rock. And yeah, like their entire body is made out of like pebbles and rock, and there's like little gaps of air between their legs and their bodies.
That's the golem up ahead.
Yeah, that is the golem. He's tall, but he's not. I wouldn't classify him as large if I had to.
You wouldn't say he's thick.
No,
How tall are we talking?
he's probably like 7.5 feet tall. He's standing over this armored fellow in front of you.
So do we have time to draw our weapons or what?
Yeah,
Should we just
sure.
roll initiative?
Yeah, everyone go ahead and roll initiative.
Ludwig's
I'm gonna.
taking an invisibility potion real
Oh,
quick.
let me pull up the tracker. I'm sorry. Always forget. There we go.
Tradition.
Here we go. Let's roll my
I think
massively low initiative.
I think the Sodhounds are just gonna go at the end of the turn order.
Yup.
That is uncanny.
Man, it's really cool how every single time I've rolled initiative, it's
Wow,
been-
that was
Isn't
great.
it? It's also based off your wisdom, right? Like.
It
and
is, yes.
I don't.
I
I
can
don't
almost guarantee that your wisdom is not great.
Hey,
Is it a -1?
are you trashing on me?
I'm not crashing on
You
you.
trashing on the Midwest battle?
I don't think. I think in a fair fight
Right back.
between Solus and the Midwest Paddle, the Midwest Paddle loses because Solus doesn't fight fair.
But also, like, I haven't used a lot of my like, spells.
Yeah,
I pretty much use like the same few.
you know.
It's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
That hydraulic
Oh.
push is...
So notably, Connor, y'all were about. You were within 500 feet when you arrived on the scene, just so you're aware.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's Ludwig's turn. If nothing happens before you guys get here, other than like the preparation you guys are taking, you've drawn your weapons and everything. Ludwig, you get to go first.
Alright, here we go. So, was I able to take a invisibility potion first?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I just
Why?
realized why you mentioned the 500.
Music ended. Oh, weird. It
So,
looped for me,
I'll,
but I didn't
just
want that
kinda
either.
bamf out of
Let's see what it-
existence after I eat this invisible thing. Alright, guys, I'm going to the right. I'm just going to help heal people.
And yeah, it seems like mostly the soldiers are okay.
Okay.
Do you really have 30 movement? Jesus.
30?
Yeah.
20, no, that's 25.
Wow.
Yeah, I ain't fast. But at least I'm invisible, so you know, eventually when I catch up to stuff, I won't know what hit them. So I'm gonna get up here kind of near the fight and then hide behind a bush. Ooh, even better, behind a down. Oh, I don't think I can get to that. Behind a bush.
Okay. Alright. It will be Solus next.
It is really unfortunate that it's like a little bit out of range. Dude, sorry, I was measuring earlier. Okay, sorry, guy in the corner.
Yeah. The only one who's notably injured of the soldiers is like there's a guy over here who's like kneeling, but so far everyone else is all right.
I'm gonna
And he's got
Inspire-
somebody else with him.
Fire
Yeah.
courage and lingering composition.
He's solid.
Everybody except for these people over here.
Okay,
Here, and obviously the people who are like obviously not the wolves for the golem.
gotcha.
And my DC is 14.
All right, well you pass it handedly.
And then I draw my bow.
All right. And that's all for your turn.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the landslide. I mean, Golem. One moment. Oh, that actually. My bad. All right. Golem
Is
raises.
that Titans music?
What?
That Titans music?
No, it was a random. You know that Japanese artist that like we shared a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
It's that guy. No, I don't remember his name. No. It's also. It's not Gax, and it's not, Nobuo Uematsu. None of these. It's just a random like. I guess he does. I don't know. Whatever.
Is it
I'll look into it later. It's not. No. All right. Gollum raises his hands above his head and just brings them down, slamming against this soldier in front of you. With a it's pretty good mod, and a pretty bad roll.
What the?
This guy. So like, you see this golem bringing down just a mighty crash upon this mace-wielding, shield-holding soldier, and the soldier just parries it aside.
Man, maybe we didn't need to help these guys.
Golem goes for another swing,
The golem
gets
is not
parried
the problem.
aside.
The golem is not the problem. It's the dog.
I don't know.
This dude's actually a master, like Dark Souls player.
The golem like takes a moment to look at its hand, and then swings forth again. This time the soldier just steps aside, and Eve, you can take your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna look at Sonus and be like, you can go fast, right?
Oh, you betcha.
Right, I'll get left, you get right?
Oh, sounds good to me.
Alright, so I'm gonna dash up here and then over to here.
Okay.
Both moves.
All right.
And I'm gonna stab this dog with a rapier.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go for it. That's great. That's a good stab.
That's 28.
Well, that's a 28, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, also, it is he's flat-footed because I go before him.
Yeah, so you see, there's already like some cuts on him.
That's a 20. That's a 30.
All right. Damn. Yeah, he's already a little injured, and like there's some nicks off of the rocks from like these soldiers' axes. And it just like you come up, you stab it, and it just starts to fall apart. Like the rocks fall to the ground, like just into kind of grassy-looking pebbles. There's a pile of rocks.
Just gonna,
And like the soldiers both look at you, look kind of wide-eyed, like where did you come from?
back. I'll handle them.
All right. They kind of nod and step aside. And Sonus, it'll be your turn next.
Okay. Sonus is going to, or I'm going to cast Fleet Step, so I get the.
Good.
But since I can't move and attack,
Uh-huh.
Oh yes.
I'm going to whip my paddle
All right.
at this wolf.
All right.
Right?
You look over, you lock on. What does it look like when you throw your paddle wreathed in wind?
Probably like a discus type throw.
Hold on. Do you like change grip and grab like the end of your sword and like do the whole like
Maybe you spin, yeah.
yeah, you like twist to the side and just
I'm trying to think.
He's
Like
got a giant sword ring.
yeah, like it'll. I'm trying to think if I want to make it like he grips the blade and the handle and like does the thing where you like do the twist
Yeah.
and then you spin and throw it.
I mean, I think that sounds great. I think when you're doing that, a little like whirlwind kind of like builds
Yeah.
up at your feet, and then you
Yeah, he'll do that. Then he'll whip it
yeah.
and it will fly at the wolf, and like as it's approaching the wolf, it'll flatten out so the paddle is going to hit the wolf.
All right. Like the end of it.
No, like the flat paddle end.
Oh yeah, of course.
Solid mayonnaise.
All right. Go ahead and roll the attack and damage.
It's basically like a long-range door you're just throwing in this.
Basically, which is yeah.
I think I have this set up right.
Finally, a door that can stand with you.
I'm I'm gonna roll this. I think I have it set up right. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's a really bad attack roll.
Oh my goodness.
Can I use a focus point?
That is a focus point.
You mean a hero point, but yes.
Hero point,
Yeah, you can totally do that.
yeah. Please.
This must be a song you added, Gino.
Is it?
Alright.
I don't think it is.
Huh, okay.
There, that's better.
That is better.
So yeah, Connor, your mod's kind of screwed up on that. We'll fix it later.
Okay.
Is
Oh
it-
yeah, it should be much higher, but your first
Yeah.
roll would have missed anyway.
It
But
should literally be 6 higher, I think.
So it's really weird for that, like for only those two.
Just
It
hit train.
doesn't.
Just hit train. All you gotta do.
but we'll take the first damage on that. So you deal 14.
15.
15. Yes, sorry, my bad.
It's a 22.
Cool. So yeah, your paddle like slices through the branches of this like tree that's in the way, and then flattens out, and it would build a lot of wind resistance doing this, flipping like end over like end over end widthwise, but since it's wreathed in wind and it's just pushing the wind out of the way, it's totally fine. It strikes just the back of this dog, and you hear the sound of like an anvil on, like a hammer on an anvil, and it like bounces into the air, and the sword returns to you. As yeah, the sod dog lets out a cry. It is still standing. Yeah, but that was a good strike. And
And you said for that, I get to use it once for free, and then I have to use a focus point.
correct, yeah, once per day, free, and then a focus
Okay.
point.
Cool.
So yeah. You kind of hear the sound of combat on the side. None of it having to do with you guys. All the soldiers are still standing and all the dogs are still standing, so we can roll on to Ludwig's turn, and I'll kind of handle the rolls for that. In the background.
So Ludwig's gonna take a look around, looking to see if he can see any like casters hanging around that might have summoned all of these.
Go ahead and roll me a perception then, or I guess I can hit that.
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't appear to be the case. The most you've got is that there's basically a hole in this road where this like golem popped out of, and kind of a similar hole over here, and like those are kind of the only hints you can see.
All right, Sir Knight, do you require assistance?
Oh yeah, I suppose he should have actually hit, but it's a little more important. I think he lashes out with his mace, hits like the side of the golem. A couple of chunks of rock fall off. He kind of looks at you over his shoulder and he says, "Wait, are you invisible?"
Yeah, absolutely. He looks at a bush.
He
that's
yeah.
talking to him.
He looks at the bush and a tree and looks around and he's like, I cannot see you, friend, but yes, your assistance would be most appreciated."
Okay.
Are these Athenian knights?
It's a little hard to tell. They're not like green stags or anything, or River Legion, as far as you can tell. They're not wearing markings. But...
All right. Did the perception check take an action?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Perfect. I will run up to the chaplain and hand him one of the leeches for my juggernaut mutagen.
Why
All right.
is it chaplain?
What? I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
Quick,
Oh, he's a cleric.
yes, let's this bite you.
He he just sees.
I'm on your side. Trust me.
I think he just sees the floating leech. He's just like, okay.
It will make you strong.
And that is the end of my actions as I invisibly shout next to him.
Okay. Do you apply it to him? Or-
if I could apply it to him, that would be great.
I guess-
I would assume that was something he would have had to do.
You can like, I don't know. Can you feed a potion to someone who's? I guess
You can
probably
do it
yeah.
if they're unconscious. If he
I guess he's active.
said it is okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Sure. Yeah. Do it.
find an empty place on his armor and then just like I'm jamming something into a socket or something. Just slap the leech onto him.
All right. I think it's literally his neck. Like
Yeah.
you just like reach up and like stick your hand under like a little chainmail like cape thing under the helmet and like you just hear this little like ow. And what does this leech do?
So it is a juggernaut mutagen.
Okay, yeah.
It's gonna give him an additional 10 hit points.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then it helps his fortitude and stuff too that you can worry about. But it would slow his will checks, perception checks, and initiative rolls.
Okay. Gotcha. Sure. Oops. Ignore that, please.
And that'll last for 10 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Solus, you can go ahead and take your turn. Alright, let's see. I guess I can use... Do you guys like when the initiative moves? Like, if I use this arrow to bump it forward? Does anyone care?
It doesn't particularly bother me.
Alright.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
fine.
I don't really see it.
The initiative?
No, I see the initiative. I don't see the arrow.
Oh, well, like, I just bumped... You know how you can, like, move the initiative forward?
Oh yeah.
So, like, Ludwig's on the bottom now.
I see.
Yeah. What are you...
I assume. So I shoot my arrow. I shoot an arrow at this guy.
Okay. It...
I assume like 16 misses.
Correct, yeah. It bounces off of his stone skin.
Okay, so then I'm going to. So I shoot at him again, but using telekinetic projectiles.
Okay.
This is a 19.
That is also slightly a miss. This one kind of like sticks into a joint, but it doesn't seem to do any damage.
Okay.
And I guess then it's his turn. Ludwig, he doesn't see you, so he'll. The mutagen you gave, sorry, it's strength and.
No, it's just fortitude.
Just fortitude, okay.
Yep,
But not-
he gets 10 extra hit points, which is
Okay, cool.
the real bonus to it.
Yeah. Sure. Wait, why did I lose? Okay, 16. Wow. So, just goes in for another strike, the golem, and the chaplain raises his shield. The strike slips off the shield, and the golem like loses his footing. He's not very grounded, and just has to spend an action kind of like steadying himself, standing back up. And I guess he still has an action for another attack, and he takes it and lands a hit finally. And I think, yeah, all the health you gave is immediately bonked out. But yeah, but what is that? All right. So this like impacts right on the chaplain's like chest armor, and he lets out a grunt of pain. Eve, go ahead.
Alright.
Oh, never mind.
So, is this guard still here?
Yeah, he's like kind of mostly just being defensive, parrying off bites from both of these doggos.
Alright. Alright. Move here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take a stab at the rapier. Wow.
Oh.
I guess I dropped the rapier.
Okay. Fair. All right.
Or what happened?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate here. Like, kind of the typical. It gets caught like in one of the weird stone crevices as you try to stab. You put a lot of force into it, and then your rapier like bends and bounds out of your hand, and ends up in a square next to you, like right over here.
Okay. And then I'm gonna take a stab at the aspect.
All right.
Do we still have the inspire?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
active for 3 rounds.
And I think even if you move out of range, I think you're in range
Correct. It's not-
anyway.
I don't have to sustain it. This isn't a sustain. It's just a,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it once. You have it for.
This is at a -1, by the way.
Okay. Oh. Good hit anyway.
Fuck.
And then
That is -1. That's like -1+1, or is that accounting for?
that's -1 with everything.
Okay.
Then it's 9 damage and then 2 from sneak attack. So
Okay. All right. This one still looks okay, but it's like a little acid sear where you leave a cut. Sonus, go ahead.
How do you ping?
you just hold that, like hold the arrow.
Yeah, you go to
Oh,
select
okay.
and move and just hold it. down.
Can Sonus look like, just judging from like looking over here, how is this knight looking like he's doing?
The one off in the distance
Like-
to the right.
Directly to the right.
He's okay. He's okay, but he's like breathing heavily, but he doesn't have any injuries yet.
Okay, and then what about the one that I threw my paddle at? Like, how's that knight looking?
Also okay. Well, let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, also okay. Sorry, I didn't know. I thought you were asking about the closest knight. Oh, you are. Never mind.
I was,
Never mind.
and then
Those
I was
answers.
asking about
Those answers are appropriate.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will move over here.
Okay.
Do I get advantage? Like, 'cause
Not advantage, but you do get flanking.
Yeah,
You'll be
yeah,
flat-footed.
yeah.
Like if you get one more square.
Yeah,
Like if you
yeah.
get into melee, yeah. Yep.
Cool. And then I will go to swing with my paddle.
Do it up. That is a hit. Yeah, that's a good chunk of damage. So you'd like knock the weight of your heavy sword just knocks like rubble flying as you cleave through one of the segments of its body.
All right, cool.
And then the doggos go. I think y'all might slightly be in more danger now. So that's like okay. So yeah, this dog is gonna turn and bite at you. Sonus.
Okay.
Okay. That's a miss, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Another bite. Oh, wow, okay.
Big miss.
Okay.
We don't have any AC bonuses right now, like Inspire Courage doesn't do.
No,
Not-
Inspire
nah.
Courage is just a +1 to attack and damage rolls, and save against fears.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I don't have Inspire Defense yet, because
Okay.
I got Lingering Composition instead.
I think, yeah. I guess it goes for another bite. This is... Wow!
Oh wait, perfect roll.
Yeah, what is your AC?
Matches, that matches my AC.
Okay, so 21 matches your AC and it's a crit, so it turns into a critical hit. Oh, I guess... Alright, never mind.
Yeah, that's how that works.
That is just actually how that works for attacks. I forgot. I did look into it, and that's the case. So it's just skill checks that do like the success levels. So let's see. Sorry, one. No. So
You're telling me I'm about to get.
you're getting a little chomped.
Very
A
cool.
little. 25.
A cool 25, yes.
Thank goodness you have a potion at least.
Yeah. And
Wink, wink.
he bites at your leg, and he like just pulls your leg out from under you, and you fall prone.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're also poisoned and paralyzed.
Yeah, you're actually not strong enough to lift your paddle anymore.
That's a yikes.
This dog rocks.
Eve, the other doggo, is gonna turn around and bite you as well.
I'm assuming by now I'm feeling like the whole
Alright.
blood boiling
I'm
thing.
gonna dodge
Okay.
and that's a miss.
All right, sweet. Yeah, when you get close, it's not quite like the wolf or the sand assassins. It's kind of like this, like prickly. That's also a miss, yeah.
100%.
Okay. They roll really well on these +1s. But I guess they are canines, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think you
It's-
just have it so that whenever you roll for dogs, like, roll 20, you just, like, crit.
Yeah.
Alright, crit. Nice.
It actually hears it when in his voice. It's like, all right, roll for doggers. And roll
Um.
for dogs. It's like,
So we can. Okay. I'll roll these. Oh wow. Okay. Sonus, the guy crits the one in front of you. Like he knocks off another huge chunk, basically like cuts off the section holding this sod dog's tail, and it yelps. And it kind of like burrows into the ground. It just like disappears from in front of you.
Oh.
But until that moment, you felt kind of this like prickling, like it's not the same like head spinny. Ludwig, you can start taking your turn, by the way. Not the same like head spinny like anxiety that you felt when you got close to that flame sorcerer, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of like a, it's like unpleasant to be around. It's like irritating.
All right, I have an important question here.
Sure.
If so, if I wanted to get to this thing, it's got like a head and a mouth. Would I be able to get up it to like shove a bomb into its mouth?
Yes, it is quite tall, so you'd have to do some sort of climbing to do that.
I'm feeling lucky.
All right. I guess I don't know. Yeah. So go ahead and give me like a dexterity, or not a dexterity. Sorry, I'm head somewhere else.
Athletics or acrobatics are both terrible.
I think it's athletics to
All
jump
right,
on
that
this
is
thing and
one
climb.
less terrible.
Good. One less. I think you kind of tumble off. It's like hard to climb a living rock creature.
Okay. That was honestly kind of my entire plan.
You could throw a bomb.
I could, but we're both right next to the bomb.
So that's kind of my concern is the splash damage. So Ludo's gonna hop back here and then hold out one of his bombs and shout,
Sir, you might want to step back.
So he took his turn and swung his weapon like just before you started acting. So he doesn't really have. He did knock off a good chunk. Okay, that's good damage. He doesn't actually have a moment to do that on your turn, but
yeah, I'm just holding the bomb.
he knows for next time. Yeah. Solus, go ahead.
We're gonna try this again.
Oof.
Which is a miss, I guess.
It is a miss.
Ugh. What a bad roll. Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna this.
Okay.
So I call down my spiritual weapon.
Yeah, I'll grab the token for that. As I steal your hero point.
And this is a 16.
Okay. I think it is actually. That isn't accounting for the multi-attack penalty, right?
It does not use my multi-attack penalty, no.
I think spiritual weapon uses and contributes to it,
Let me read it really quick.
but it's a miss either way.
Attack trait.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I guess, and like, it's going to whip out, and it's like the blades slide against the rocky skin of this creature, and it kind of like flails out unpredictably. Like this isn't how the spiritual weapon usually works, and it hits the chaplain for like half damage of that. That took all 3 actions, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Earth Elemental is gonna be swinging again. Oof. Alright, that is a crit. So that's maybe a bad time for the chaplain. Oh, he's still standing! He's still barely standing, but... Oops. Not -3. He like raises... Yeah, like... Oh. He doesn't have time to like get his shield up, and he's like driven kind of to his knees and stands back up shakily and just breathes. Tries to raise his shield again for the next hit, and does so. Oh. And then the rock is on the ground again, just face down again, prone for the entire next turn. Eve, go ahead.
Right. So, going to, I guess, stab with the acid fang.
Okay.
The other hand is currently free. That's at a +2.
That is a hit. Yep.
And
Okay. Yeah, so it takes another another chunk of damage. It is. If it had blood, it would be bloodied. Let's see. Do you strike? Do you strike again?
yeah, I'm gonna quick draw the healing fang.
Okay.
That's at a -1. Wait, or -2. We have the Inspire right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, -1.
I'll let
also
you know.
the-
I'll let you know when it ends because it ends at my turn.
The last one did 12 damage, by the way.
Hmm.
This one is at a 19.
Okay, that does hit.
And it did 13, and then
Dang.
probably dead anyway. We're rolling sneak attack.
He.
17 damage.
The other one had some cuts on it. This one didn't, but it's a little wobbly. Pebbles are starting to fall off. But still standing.
Oh. Damn.
Heck,
After
did I lose the turn order? There,
Well-
that was weird.
I just did 29 to it, by the way.
Yeah. It was uninjured. I mean, other than your previous attack. So.
Alright. I'm gonna look at the knight and be like, I'm so sorry, but you should probably dodge. Alright. Let's, swing the acid dagger. And I guess just like a wave of acid comes out.
Okay. Right, reflex.
Yep. And I'm gonna hit both these.
Holy crap, I forgot how much. Is that the first time you've acid flashed?
Yes.
Okay, so that's still like the empowered version.
What do you mean the empowered version?
I think I was saying the first charge was going to be like double. Like after you empowered it with the pillars.
Oh, I see, yeah. So it's... Is it more?
I thought the... I'll take a look at what we... at our conversation, but I thought the 46 version was empowered, and normally it's... No, I guess that's right.
Well, you said it was heightened to whatever level I was.
Yeah. So I guess it's an extra 2d6 for this one. There's an extra, like, half damage. Anyway,
Right.
Good, good.
It's alright, I kind of
Wow.
I rolled that pretty hard.
So the first one, is it a crit save is...
No damage.
Yeah, okay, so one... The close one jumps out of the way, but the other one takes, like, full damage. Although... I guess... Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay. So yeah, he takes the full, what is that? 19?
Yeah.
And that one starts to sizzle. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's looking pretty rough. It took a couple sword chunks from this soldier.
What about this knight?
The knight, yeah, yep. He is not the most reflexive. Yeah, so you just hear this knight, just his armor gets coated in acid and it starts leaking through the gaps in his armor.
Oh god, I'm sorry, but I did tell you to run.
Just, ah! Oh, God! And then it's Sonus' turn. It sounds like perhaps the fight on the other side of the road is not going so well for some reason. Although,
Am I still pro?
yeah, you were prone, so you can spend an action to stand up.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
And, like, if you look over, Eve is fine. Eve is, like, holding out the acid dagger. Both of the dogs are covered in some acid, and so is this knight standing in front of you. You see him, like, reaching for its back and, like, jumping around a little through the tree.
Can
I guess
I?
you hear me apologize too.
Can I use this potion?
Yeah, go for it. How much does it heal, Ludwig?
2d8 plus 5.
Solid.
Wow. 12.
And that takes one action.
It's probably an action to pull it out and an action to... Well... Yeah, you just swung with your weapon, so yeah. I think it takes 2 actions, because you have to pull it out. So, like, you stand up, you grab the potion from your bandolier or your pouch pocket, and then you use it.
Okay. Cool, then I guess I'm done.
Okay. Goes to the doggo's turn. Give both of the dogs in front of you, like, do the same thing that the dog in front of Sonus did. They just, like, dive into the earth, and there's, like, just a little patch of dirt where they dive under, and otherwise it's, like, untouched grass as they, disappear from sight.
That's just something that the grass is melted away.
Yeah, some of it. It was fine, and then there's this little pool of acid that just starts to sizzle and spread. Let's see. Okay. So then, Ludwig the chaplain takes your advice. He steps back a little, and you see him, like, kind of, like, close his eyes, and he holds his mace up into the air, says a few words under his breath, and, like, he's engulfed in kind of this, it's, like, soft, like, grayish light. Let's see. So that's, like... Heal is, like... no, it'll... Okay, I know what it is. Sorry. Wait. So he heals for 10 plus... it's his mod, right? Not his level. Or it's his proficiency. If he's using the 2-action heal.
I think it's plus. I think it's just doubled.
It's a flat number, so I think it's like...
I know level
For-
1 is 8, but I think it's 16 for level 2 and so on and so forth.
Oh, you're right. Okay. So yeah, plus... Yeah, so he heals for 26. You see his wounds start to close, what you can see of them. Which isn't much under the armor, I guess. And yeah, now the golem is free for you to bomb, if you wish.
Okay, here goes. Touching the... maybe actually there's just like a glint from the crown of True Strike. I do have a +1 on the attack because I have these goggles on.
Yeah, okay.
So let's do a ranged.
And since
Sorry,
he's...
just those first 2. Yep, the
Okay.
24 then.
Let's see. I think even prone, the first one doesn't hit. So yeah, second one does.
Yep,
Are those all
and
three?
well, that's the True Strike. So it was just the first 2. I didn't mean to do 3.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so it does hit, and it lands for... I'm going to take the first damage. I'm sorry. So it lands for...
The damage...
Oh, yeah, that's...
Actually, the... Sorry, yeah. I
No,
just
go
have
ahead.
The sling. It's 2d6 cold.
Okay.
But it also lowers its speed by 10 feet until the end of its next turn.
Oh, okay.
So then Ludwig's going to spend the next action running up behind the chaplain, completely visible at this point because
Yeah.
he's attacked, and do some battle medicine on him real quick.
Oh,
Really
sick.
Just like kind of scurrying up his back. Hold still. I'm going to do my best.
All right. Oh.
I will be spending a hero point
Okay.
on that one.
To not kill him.
Yeah. There you go. That's a lot better. That's a crit. That's a nice...
So I believe that is. I will double check. It's 4 of something. I can't remember if it's a D8 or a D6.
I think it's a D8.
It's a D8. Yep. All right.
Solid. Okay, yeah. He lets out kind of a sigh of, like, of relief as he kills some of his pain, and he brings his shield back up. Yeah.
This was stabbing your spleen.
Let me get this out of the way for you.
Thank you. I'm going to keep this for later.
Alright, so let's go ahead.
Please stop fucking rolling bad. Okay, that's a 30.
That's good. And that's on the rock guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot this man.
All right, since that is he's currently prone, so that is a crit. So you deal 20 damage.
22, right? Is this
Oh, yeah,
damage
22, yep.
plus 3 plus 1?
Yep. Thank you for reminding me
and
literally
then-
every time.
Did you pay 1 for Ristic Study?
There's kind of like a sound as like its arrow just sticks in its head. Yeah.
I have this. I always forget about like the deadly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I guess I just roll a d10 and add it.
Mm-hmm. All right, takes another 9 damage. It's like its head just starts to crumble as your arrow strikes it.
So then I'm going to inspire courage again, because this is the last round that's going to be up. I'm going to use my last hit point to.
Okay. That beats the DC, right?
Yeah, it's 10 plus the highest level person I'm targeting,
Okay.
which I assume it's us. So that would be 14.
Yeah. All right. Oops. There we go.
Do not relent, comrade.
Okay. So he spends an action standing up. Spends an action. Oh wait, did you sustain your?
No. Yeah, sorry, this is on now. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he stands up. He takes a step forward, and with his last action, he strikes at the chaplain. Kind of. Oh my. All right.
Bye. Ludwig's like, I feel like Ludwig's about to get crushed.
There is that. Oh yeah, it is.
Ludwig's like patching him up, and he just like fucking rock fist comes.
Oh my god, he's still alive. So like yeah, just like this uppercut, I think his helmet goes flying, and like, oh yeah, it like hits his chest and he staggers back, and like the end of the punch sends his helmet flying, and he's just reeling. His head is spinning a little bit, but he's still standing. And Eve, you can go.
Alright. Yes, these guys, I don't know where they're at. I'm like, eh. But I like stumble around. I guess jumping over this prone guy, be like, did you see where they went? So I'm gonna take my first stride action and start moving.
All right. Yeah.
Does that trigger anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks around and he says, I don't know. I think if they appear again, I can handle them.
I'm gonna move over here
Okay.
and I'm gonna throw the acid dagger at the dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'll move here and throw it so I don't get a penalty.
Sure.
Throw it.
Wow. And that's at a +1, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's not
Right.
flanked.
He's not flanked, but that is a crit anyway.
Oh! 22 damage, or 24 damage. Fuck yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. It like the acid dagger. Holy shit. Just like sinks into its chest and just it's like acid starts to kind of like bleed out of where it's landed.
Yeah, it's my turn, by the way.
Yeah. Sonus, go ahead.
Okay. And you said all the wolves are starting to do the burrowing thing?
A couple others did over here. The wolves up here are still okay. They're still hanging in there. They've not disappeared.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what to do. I think I'll move right here. I think that's or it was like right there.
Okay.
And then oh. Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'm going to cast heal on me.
Very well.
Also, I like the song.
Thank you. It's a good one. It's classic. Yeah, go ahead and roll your heal, and while you're doing that, the doggos go. You hear kind of a cry from out this way.
So I think
And you see that anyone who looks over.
so. That's gonna be 3 plus 8 because I used the second one, and I'm a living creature. So
Yep. So yeah, you heal for 11.
yep. So I'm at.
At the same time as the guy goes prone on the right, another one of these dogs on the left, kind of like you hear another like of just it like burrowing into the ground. And then Ludwig, you can go ahead. Oh wait, no, sorry, Chaplain. Chaplain goes. I keep forgetting. He's like mixed in with the rest.
Us peasants.
Yeah. All right, 1. He hits once. And yeah, you see like what little is left of this golem creature's face is like getting kind of pummeled and knocked to pieces. And you can see like fractures appearing. Ludwig, go ahead. That's actually a really good dagger shape. What the fuck?
Totally unintentional. Is it like stuck into his side?
Basically, yeah. Oh. Sorry. Ludwig?
Hey, I'm muted. Sweet. Ludwig is taking the second Juggernaut potion he has, using it on himself, and then scurrying behind this bush again and attempting to hide.
Okay. If you actually want to stealth, then roll me a stealth check. Otherwise, yeah.
Right? I would love to stealth, because I don't have a lot else I'm going to do against this thing.
Okay. Yeah, you're totally hidden. The golem is not keeping track of you very well.
Sweet.
And yeah. All right. Solus, you can go ahead. That is a
That's
miss. It is. It is.
So I guess as that arrow is like bouncing off of the golem, I'm gonna. This is a 20.
But then reduced for multi-attack penalty, right?
Oh yeah. Okay,
So-
you're right.
It would have been a miss anyway, actually. I don't know why I asked. So yeah. That also, like, irregular projectile and the telekinetic one both bounce off of his hide. And yeah, I guess that's all the actions you've got. So it goes to his turn. And so much like the doggos, he lets out a cry as his pebbles are falling off of him. Just kind of does like a twist from one side to the other as he just, and then he also like kind of falls apart and disassembles into individual pebbles and rocks and starts to burrow underground, kind of like dissolving into the road where he popped up originally. And like, I guess not yet, but the other dogs will look over. They take notice that the ringleader has left. Eve, your dagger is not immediately visible.
Okay.
What do you do?
I'm gonna like blink, be like, how'd he go? And there seem to be other battles still continuing.
It seems like it.
Okay.
Although it kind of sounds like the snarling, the weird like, the snarling that sounds kind of like rocks being just rubbed together. It kind of subsides when the big guy leaves.
Okay. I'm gonna spend an action to like move over to where it was at,
Okay.
and I guess do a seek at the ground. Like, be like, where'd he go?
Yeah. Go ahead and
It's totally for flavor reasons, by the way.
Right.
A perception.
leaving no tunnels or signs of its passing. Okay. I think, yeah, you hear nothing, you feel nothing. There's no tremors. It's just kind of seems to be gone.
Whoops, that was the wrong Bardic lore button.
He's gonna take a couple steps back.
Okay.
Like, just kind of like
Oh, you,
look around. Oh,
You do find your dagger when you're doing that. You see a sign of it. Like, the only sign that you see, there's just like kind of this crater, this little pit where the rocks originally appeared, and then you see just a glint of jade in the dirt.
I guess I'll try and reach down and grab it.
Yeah. You are able to pull it out and retrieve your dagger.
Right, that's my turn.
Okay. Sonus, go ahead.
Trying to think. Because it looks like there are no like enemies around anymore, right? Besides the one or the two wolves up top.
Yeah, there's two over here, and there's one like way up.
Oh yeah, I see you. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, whoops, wrong guy. Sonus will kind of move over here to the wolf.
You say kind of move, but you basically flash over there, right? Like, don't you just kind of appear next to it?
Has it been?
You are still
technically
very
a minute?
fleet. No, it has not.
Oh. Yeah, then I guess I'd literally appear next to it. And I'll just swing at it with the paddle.
All right, do it up. Mm-hmm. It's a hit.
Cool.
You cleave a bunch of rocks from its side. I
and
think there's
then
one.
I guess I'll.
Sorry, go ahead.
Huh? Oh, I was just
Oh, no,
gonna
this-
go for another swing.
I guess this one's actually, like, down. You knock it over. Like, it lifts its head up, tries to, like, move again, and then, like, falls down.
Okay. I don't. I guess I will kind of just stay here for now.
Okay. All right. So then, immediately after you knock that one down, I think you see this wolf also just, it like jumps, like, you know, off its front legs and then back legs, and then like its head dives kind of like head first into the ground and like disappears as if it jumped into water. Same thing happens across the way for the other one who's still conscious and standing, and the only two sod dogs who are left, sod hounds, are unconscious.
Okay.
And yeah, that's basically the combat. It appears like, you know, there's a tense moment where it's like, is this golem gonna pop back up? Is he gonna like pull the chaplain underground and finish him off? Like, what's going on? And then just nothing happens. It just stays quiet. And the soldiers around the edge start to relax. And meet back up. And oops.
All right, who's hurt?
I think the soldier starts walking out and he's like, hey. I would warrant that damn near everyone is.
Where'd you run into acid out here?
He looks over at Eve. It's like,
Eve just like gives him a look like shaking her head.
This is a big lad.
he's a little big. He's not actually that many squares. He just, like, his legs stretched out.
He's just man spreading on the battlefield. How fucking rude.
Oh, you're
He's permanently-
approaching me, Eve.
He's permanently in an action pose, and it takes up some extra space, you know? So, yeah. All right.
Yeah, Ludwig's going to do some triage and
Yeah, I think
medicine everybody.
not to outdo you, but the chaplain also helps. He, like, closes his eyes, again, kind of raises his mace, and you see, like, the holy symbol around his neck light up, and there's, like, a couple pulses of the AoE heal, healing up his soldiers as you're working on them as well.
Yep. I like to think that he's got like I've got a bandage like out to wrap around, and then it just heals up in front of me.
Oh, Phil. Yeah, that's okay. I didn't go and learn all this for nothing or anything. Jeez.
Let's see.
Solace is probably like the first one to approach.
Go ahead and take 80 XP for that, everyone.
Ah,
Hmm.
oh.
Aha!
Look, we did.
Wait,
Did you?
Did you say 80?
Yeah.
I said 80, yeah. 80.
Oh.
Level
you
up we
level.
are.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were that close.
Level
Holy crap.
5.
All right, that's fine. That's great. That's good.
That's why I was like, that's
Exactly.
what I was gonna talk to you about it because I was like, we're like literally so close,
Yeah, well.
but it never came up.
Look,
Dude, I'm just always so close. I actually
Yeah.
just nutted anyway, though.
Yeah. You guys get 79 XP. No.
so,
And I
Yeah.
forget, I'm assuming we wait until after to do all the leveling stuff.
yeah, right. We'll, you guys will do that after the session, sorry.
No, that's fine.
I need that
Existence
6 plus
is
1
pain.
and
It's not
everything.
like we have 3 hours of the session left. You know?
Right.
Uh-huh, yeah.
It's not like we pretty much just started.
It's a travel episode. It's all good.
I don't know. I think that that missing +1 on proficiency is going to fuck someone over this session.
Missing
we're all
plus
gonna
one
get
fucked
gripped
me
by
over in
goblin
that
dog.
entire combat. What do you mean?
It's probably.
I missed 2 times because I didn't have an extra +1.
I think I'm just gonna start rolling up my extra sneak attack die anyway, just because we know it's there.
Something need a rest to level up? I don't know.
Guys, I think we should go to bed.
Can't we rest while in the carriage?
We don't have
You don't
it.
have a carriage. Get wrecked.
Oh. Are we walking?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're walking.
Yeah, like peasants.
There could be
Yeah.
lakes and mountains and deserts in front of, like, in between you and your objective. You don't know.
Okay, get a carriage. That
notably-
can also be a boat.
Everyone
boat
else
carriage.
is a peasant, other than me and Eve, so we're fine.
Oh my god, I was really
You guys
hoping
are
that
used
dryer
to
was
this.
done. Yeah, true. Everyone else is like, this is normal. So yeah, I think afterwards, after the fight, the chaplain looks to you in particular, Ludwig, and says, "Thank you for the assistance of you and your party. That could have gotten ugly."
Our pleasure. You guys head into the fort too?
No, his eyes kind of flash wide. Just like, it seems like he's been asked that question a lot. He's like, no, we're going to Good Till. All of the commotion about Salamander's forces moving in, all of the soldiers being transferred to Green Rock Hill. He shakes his head. He's like, I'm afraid the rot is going to be left unattended and uninvestigated until that whole mess is over, and that just... We can't let it spread any further. We're going to look and see if we can find out what's going on.
The rot?
He nods. Like, surely you've heard.
I vaguely recall a job request of some kind regarding this like mysterious disease. We've been awful busy. We totally forgot about it.
He nods. It's like, seems even the council has forgotten now, even though like so much of our food comes from Good Till in that area, but now the villagers can't even live there. They're under assault from monsters and strange creatures. They've all been relocated to the crossroads until we can figure out what's going on there. And let's see. Oh yeah, what was the bardic lore you were rolling, Solus? Sorry. That was just about
The creatures that we've fought.
yeah, they're just like earth elementals all around. One was known as a living landslide, the others were sodhounds.
Can I use that to like extrapolate maybe like a faction or something that would use them?
They can be summoned by like sorcerers, wizards, even, clerics of some persuasions, but they can also like elemental
Exist
creatures like that.
naturally, right?
Yeah, they've just, especially after the gods were sealed away, they've just been roaming around, showing up. It's like not uncommon to see them this close to the mountains.
Okay.
I'm gonna hand a few silver pieces to the Night Burn. I'm like, I'm really sorry about that, but it's your fault for being there.
I tried to get out of the way. It's quite a fearsome attack. Where did you? Are you a?
Shh. Let's like I said, here's a few silver pieces. Just not speak of it.
I understand the heat of combat gets. I know how it gets.
So, if I could ask a question, do you know how fast this rot is spreading?
Not even a year ago, it was limited to the river, flowing from the mountains. But now, it's spread nearly. Kind of thinks on it. 30, 40 miles from the river in the last year.
Okay, so not necessarily immediate, but coming up pretty close. Is it going as well?
North faster than west, or east or south, not west.
Okay, it's spreading kind of towards Salamander Lakes then.
He nods.
Now, that could be good or bad news for us.
Kind of crooks an eyebrow, and then he's like, "Oh, you're not headed to Green Rock Hill to help, are you? You're headed to try to take Salamander's head, like the rest of the fools."
Well, we're helping after a fashion, but yeah, the fool's part. See, Eve, this is what I'm saying. It's all about the public perception.
He kind of looks between you and like doesn't know what to make of that.
I think you vastly overestimate how much Eve actually cares about the way the public perceives it.
That's fair.
Gentlemen, I did not mean to spark a debate. We really must be going. We need to get to Good Till as fast as possible.
Just a quick question. Your name, sir? We didn't catch it.
I am Chaplain Brining.
Wonderful. Perhaps on our way back from killing the god, we could stop by and help with the rats.
Yes, on your way back.
Oh, it won't. I mean, we've done it once. How bad can it be?
He kind of raises an eyebrow again and pauses.
Yes, we're accomplished fools.
It's a long story, to be honest.
I would. Let me see. Yeah, I think he says, I don't have time for long stories today, unfortunately, but perhaps I'll hear of your endeavors if you're so accomplished. Yeah, Chaplain Brining. He's not extremely famous, but you're pretty well connected, so you've heard of him. He's like kind of a weird situation. He's got a little mercenary company of his own, presumably the people around him. More of a, I don't know, somewhere between a mercenary company and an adventuring party.
He's a chaplain with a paramilitary company.
He's a very bashy chaplain, it seems.
I mean, the Pope does, right? So I mean,
Oh, yeah, you're right. I totally forgot that the Pope actually has an army.
And you know/see that he worships the Shade of Death. And you know their church doesn't have much standard business these days. So you know.
I don't know. I think that as a player, I don't really know what I would do with that information.
Yeah, I'm just giving it to you.
It's like, it's mostly I think that like, I think Sala sees that he like is like he's a man on a mission, so like Solace is just gonna want to try and like get Len.
Yeah, and yeah, that's fair.
All right, let us go. We'll see you on the wayside, Chaplain.
He nods. He's like, I wish you luck in your foolish endeavor, and I hope you wish us luck in ours.
Yes. Oh, just as a saying, if you get a sample and go back to Eden, where could I find you? I'd really like to get a sample.
A sample of what?
Of the rat.
Of the rot.
Yes. Oh, it needs to be very sealed because you don't, want to bring it into the city and have it spread.
Indeed. A
Okay,
water
on second
sample,
thought,
a soil sample.
Don't bring it back. That's a bad idea.
I tend to agree. There's plenty of samples to take if you wish to join me in Good Till. And, I think, he realizes that you're all probably headed in the same direction. He looks down the road, and he, like, kind of hefts his mace to his shoulder, and he's like, shall we talk and walk? All right. So, yeah, you guys walk with this group, kind of the rest of the day, and you'd probably end up camping in about FF32 there. And it's, not much happens. You're able to just continue on the next day. The next thing of note is... Oh, I rolled too many checks there. That's fine. The next thing of note is probably that... give me like 1 minute, actually. Sorry. Where's it?
So you said we rested, Smile.
Yeah, you rested. You can have all of the stat bonuses and things from leveling up. Any like feat selections or anything, or spell selections, will probably have to wait until after the session if that's not, or like maybe until we take a break. If we can take a break in like 20 minutes and you guys can fill it out.
That sounds good.
Well,
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff this level. This is an ability level. Ability level too.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So maybe just after the session,
Yeah.
stick with just stat bonuses and things, and not even, sorry, like proficiency bonuses, not the, because you're hitting 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I get my extra sneak attack die?
Yeah. Anything that doesn't require you to
guys?
make a choice, you can get. Anything you get automatically. So you guys wake up the next day, you start traveling, and like pretty close to your camp, you see some tracks not on the road. I think probably Solus spots it. And if you want to just roll me a nature check. Okay. I think, like... Actually, just in the distance, down the hill, like, you pass a river up here, and down the hill you spot, a handful of gnolls, like, filling up water skins, basically. And,
Hey, Ludwig,
Yes?
look down there.
Oh, Knowles.
Are gnolls traditionally hostile, friendly?
they're a little, like, protective. Kind of in this world, around here, the only straight-up hostile things are apparently lizard men, and, like, hobgoblins are just dicks to everybody. But most other sentient species around here are, like, not auto-hostile or auto-friendly.
Great.
Yes, do we want to go say hello?
Not particularly.
Would we have seen gnolls within Eden, that sort of thing? Like, could they be
That's-
another adventuring party?
That's pretty uncommon. They mostly stick to, they stick to the north, kind of the hills area over here.
I kind of want to say hi. I'm interested.
Of course you would. Because they look like you and all.
Wow.
I don't think they do. I'm like small and green. Oh, actually, you have a point. I've kind of been growing a lot of hair lately.
Yeah. They do look a little bit like your werewolf form.
Oh, maybe they know something. Wait, could these be weredolls?
Ludwig looks through the goggles carefully at them.
I think that, yeah, they don't appear to be werewolves at first glance. And I think, like, Eve, the soldier that you splashed with acid, like, in earshot, maybe passing by to get water himself, like, crooks an eyebrow at you guys in this conversation.
What? What do you want?
Shakes his
I
head and
already gave you some silvers.
he kind of like narrows his eyes and he's like, I'm just. You.
All right, then shoot.
Ludwig hears the word silver and jumps and hisses a little bit.
He, thoroughly confused, continues walking, and just like leans down by the little stream, just like watching you for an extra like 10 seconds before looking back to what he's doing.
Okay, I want to go talk to them, but I want some backup. Sonas, are you... You
No.
could make a hasty retreat.
I'm sorry, am I not good enough?
In truth, I'm not
someone-
afraid of them. I just don't want you to become distracted on some mission again. reinforcements for Fool's
Yeah.
mission.
And it doesn't seem like they're sticking around too much. They're filling their water skins and they start to like kind of move on straight west, even though I can't point straight west with these hexes, but they move straight west, trust me.
Hey guys! Excuse me, travelers.
One of them looks at you and they like pat the other one on the shoulder and they both look at you. They're kind of like hunched over.
Are
Hyena
there any
faces.
rocks nearby?
Any rocks? Yeah, I mean there's like, I assume we're talking about like pebbles and boulders and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like plenty. You guys are walking like under a mountain peak right now, and there's
So while he's like trying to figure out like how to like get their attention, he just like goes and picks more rocks. And it's like, no. Picks up like another one. It's like, right, that'll do.
No.
I think you're calling to them.
Yeah, that's true.
Then you just see her whoosh and see a rock just like hurl past your shoulder.
Look out!
Wait, are you throwing it at them?
I'm just like throwing it in their direction to like get their attention.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're already looking up there, and they look at the rock, and they, they hear it clatter, even though it's quite a distance, and they look at each other. And I guess one starts like walking up towards you, while the others are kind of packing up their camp. And yeah, he approaches, says, looks at the rock as he's walking up the hill. He's like, strange greeting.
Some of our group have very interesting, I guess, viewpoints on what greetings are. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Ludwig.
It did get your attention, didn't it?
I think the shouting did that. Be quiet.
It certainly caught my eye. He looks back at Ludwig. It's like, what would you?
Sorry, it's so rare to see a nose this direction. It's forgive me if this is rude, but do you know of the Guardian of the North and Rava?
Nods. He's like, yeah, we're going to meet the Harpies now, actually.
Oh, wonderful. Just a second, I have something. One second,
And he's gonna start picking through his backpack to find the letter that he had wrote way back when.
Very well.
Actually, I'm gonna like poke Ludwig. I still have the scroll that wrong.
The scroll. Oh yes, she gave us the. Do you want to return it?
I mean, that's no. I'm just saying, it's like a proof that we meant wrong.
Oh, hey, so guys, we met Rava, pretty cool lady. So I have a letter that I need to get to her. The name is Ludwig. I don't remember if I actually introduced myself to her, but if you're like, oh, the guys that killed Explicita, she'll definitely know.
Oh yes, we killed Explicita, by the way. If you wouldn't mind telling her.
Oh, I think he starts to be like, I don't know who that. Oh, clearly she knows who that is. I will relay this.
Oh, great! This is great news.
What was your? I mean, I have your letter. Never mind, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll look at it later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess he like takes the letter and he's like, I can deliver this. Yes.
Oh, that's great. You guys just around looking, kind of checking the place out, or what?
He kind of like thinks for a moment about how to succinctly explain this and how much detail to go into, and he's like, we lived in the east, to the east of the desert, the hills, near Salamander Lake. But well, he kind of like looks to the hills just to the north, kind of like towards Green Rock Hill, and he's like, seems like you know all about the about those louts, those ruffians.
Yeah, I think we're getting a pretty good idea.
Well, they made it hard to live there anymore. Pressured us to join their little army. Wasn't safe for us to travel west. They have too many forces in the forest, around the forest, so we had to take the long way around, unfortunately.
That makes sense. Oh, did you run through some of the rots then?
Shakes his head. It's like, we avoided that. That
Oh,
sounds
okay.
quite foolish.
Beer.
Yeah, well, you know, it's pretty interesting though when you think about it.
We've had a lot of other things to think about.
I suppose. Okay, well, I don't actually have a lot for you. I'm just very excited that you can deliver this letter. Do you need any compensation for this?
Shakes his head. He's like, no, if you are a friend of the Guardian, we will do it.
Actually, do you mind taking us with you?
What? He kind of looks around and he's like, if you're heading that way, we may travel together, yes.
Are we going that way? I thought you were going straight north.
They're going to meet the Harpies, aren't they?
Yeah, but the Harpies are like to the west, right?
So
I thought they were north of where Salamander Lake was.
that's where we came from. No, and he's like, if you have a map, this will be easier.
I'm sorry.
Assuming someone points out a map or pulls out a map, he's like just points to like this little crook of the mountains. He's like, this is where the Harpies live, or at least where the Guardian lives. The Harpies live throughout the mountains.
Just a reminder: the Harpies do worship Salamander, right?
No, the Harpies are not into Salamander.
Okay.
They're pretty unhappy with him. I guess maybe you don't know that. Shit. Rumors
we do-
has
we
it
do
that
know
they've been in conflict. Yeah, you guys were directly told that they were in conflict.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
I thought that like Rava was in conflict, but like I think I remember for some reason that the rest of the Harpies were like fans of him or something like that. I don't know. Like when we went to go speak with Explicita.
I have notes.
Or when we met Rava the first time.
It's a pretty brief conversation, but like kind of the gist of it is that they were being pressured to again like join because Eden's not really friendly with the Harpies. So Salamander's forces were like, "Yo, join us," and they were like, "Nah, we're not into that, fam." And then like the Harpies kind of got involved when Salamander forces tried to like raid some Knoll village, and the Harpies came and like fought. And that's kind of what you guys know of the situation.
Like look at Ludwig, be like, I thought perhaps we were going to recruit their assistant, make it easier to get in.
Yes, but I have this really interesting technology you may have heard of. It's called a letter, and what I do is I send it, and it's like I'm there.
All right.
Jeez.
You didn't have to get all snappy with me. I've written letters before. I know what letters are. Like clearly not getting your sarcasm.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna litigate this.
Never mind. Sonus, I think we should go spar a little bit.
Oh, I'm always in for a good sparring session.
I don't think Ludwig has
So,
a lot else for him though. Just
Yeah, assuming you guys aren't drastically changing your plans and reversing course to go to the mountains, yeah, I think you guys go your separate way. The Knolls head off west, and you and Breining's men continue off east. The next spot of note, like you guys get to the EE35, and you're starting to like come down the hills, and there's just like there's a spot where there's like 40, 50 tents kind of like nestled between the hills at the spot where the roads cross. And that's where Brian kind of says his goodbyes to you guys and thanks you again for your help. And they continue east. And assuming you guys don't linger, you head north.
sounds good to me.
Okay. And yeah, I think, let's see, I meant to roll this. You guys... Wow, okay, yeah, so, You like come down the hills, walking across like the base of the hills through this hex and like open grassland, and then kind of back towards the hills over here. You can start to see the Green Rock Hill tower ahead of you. And the other thing you see as you're walking along the road is another set of tents. And like it's starting to get dark. They're starting to put up fires. You guys are starting to get tired. And yeah. Would you like to stop at this camp, walk past them, stop before them?
Well, is it nighttime?
Yeah, it's getting on towards evening now.
I mean, so like by the time we actually make it to here, it will be full on nighttime.
Well, yeah, you guys would have to push extra and risk like fatigue to walk further. It's like walk through Green Rock Hill. If you want to do that, you...
like pretty civilized. Is there like people cooking and stuff like that?
Yeah. And it's a smaller camp than the one you guys were just at, but it's still like probably 20 tents maybe. And they look like there are people taking off armor, like cleaning their weapons and stuff. It's definitely like a military unit, but again, they're not like River Legion or Green Stags or anything. And actually, sorry, I just need to roll perception checks for you guys.
There's an awful lot of non-Edenian military, isn't?
So, Solus and Ludwig? Eve, I'm sorry, you rolled a 1.
That is totally fine.
But Solus and Ludwig, you immediately... Well, it actually takes you a minute. After looking around, investigating this camp, you notice that they're all like wearing or displaying symbols of the brass scales. Yes.
It looks like our little hint was correct.
Yeah, looks like the competition's a little ahead, but not so much. Do we want to hang out with some, find out what they know?
It's entirely possible that they might just be being stationed and hired to help
That's a
with
good
Green
point.
Rock Hill.
Yeah.
Do any of them seem particularly hostile? I guess
No,
technically, like they don't. They also probably wouldn't know who we are.
Yeah, y'all are coming from the right direction. So like, and you're walking around without your weapons drawn or anything. They don't seem bothered by your presence. They probably just assume you're more like mercenaries headed to Green Rock Hill or something.
Yeah, I mean, we could stop here. I don't see a particular problem with stopping here.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Looks like someone over there is cooking a meal.
Just a second, Eve, because let's just real quick, maybe we don't mention that we're going to go kill Salamander.
Why not? You think
This
that-
could
you
be the competition.
I'm gonna like look around. Like, I guess my perception is terrible.
I
Like,
think-
what do these people look like?
Yeah, well, they all look pretty put together. They've got very nice armor, nice weapons. If this were Pathfinder 1, I'd describe them all as like a masterwork. And I guess, yeah, they look professional, and they look better equipped than like standard military.
I bet none of them have explicator fangs. Eve says, like, kind of skulking.
And maybe for today we pretend that we don't either.
You've like taken a fun out of everything.
That does seem to kind of be one of my main abilities, yes.
All right.
Yes, let's find out what they
Keep
know.
it on
what
the
we-
down low, I suppose, if that's what you really want to do.
It seems wise.
Always never on.
So you guys can set up mid camp, and if you want to mingle, that's fine. Otherwise, no one really approaches you. You do like catch a couple glimpses of someone who like a pretty tall guy wearing like kind of this simple leather armor, like quality but simple, that he's walking around, and everyone seems to be like greeting him when he approaches.
Can I make a society check?
Go for it. It doesn't take a good roll to determine that this is definitely Brass, the guy who leads the mercenary company. Also, my music stopped.
So I point that out to everyone.
Oh, like Zubras, the big guy?
That's him.
Where? I don't see anything.
you
Eve, turn around. It's that way.
As he's pointed out to you, that bad perception check does not have to linger.
I just imagine she's really hungry and keeps like fixating on like the pot of stew that's probably just like 2 feet away.
Yeah. So you like, he's pointed out to you, and you see him just like this tall guy with like brown hair and like shockingly bright green eyes.
I'm gonna whisper Sol. I think this is skills then.
If I had to take an incredibly educated guess, yes, I would say this is the camp.
Huh. Would have never guessed.
It's okay. That's why we have Ludwig and I to do the thing.
Yeah, I feel. Well, okay, that might be tough, but we should at least talk with some. I think.
I think sorry, carry on. Didn't mean to interrupt. Need to go look something up anyway.
I'll be honest. I'm kind of out of my elements. This whole big tough guy thing. That's like Sonas's thing, maybe.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
do you
important
think?
to not be a big tough guy,
That's true.
especially when we're outnumbered. I don't know, 4-1 easy.
Yeah, fair.
Is Sonus
Well,
Sonus, are you already like making friends with people?
Yeah, Sonus would actually be like over there talking like,
Oh, where's Sonus?
Oh no.
He's like the next campfire over, being boisterous, and you just hear like Midwest battle. And he's like,
I'd be introducing myself and like, oh, you haven't heard of me? The Midwest Paddle?
I think they look at each other and they're like, there's some story about some guy, I don't know, killing a snake with a boat oar or something.
Is
that you?
Sonus would scoff and then tell the story entirely, skipping over Ben Griff.
Just to tell the story. Wow.
Leaving Ben Griff, the true god killer, out of the story. Poor Ben.
And I would correct them, telling them it was not a boat oar, but the Midwest Paddle.
They seem awestruck. They're very entertained. Well, let's see. Do a perform check.
God, a perform?
Yeah.
Hey, you're performing, man.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
start like telling these stories.
Speaking of performance, is there like a bar?
Well,
do the brass guilds have like a banneret?
Yeah, probably.
This is gonna be so bad.
Believe in yourself.
I think.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Okay, there's no way I can help him, right? Like this is actually so bad that even
Like,
even like an aid check would be terrible.
It wouldn't be that, they seem entertained, but they don't seem impressed.
He's like making an ass out of himself.
Yeah, they're like, sure, Midwest Paddle, that's... So you're the god killer. They're just nodding along, chuckling, turning to each other, making a few jokes. But I think as you're like in your performance, I think like you get so everyone else sees this first. You see a familiar I want to say gnome. Walking up to Sonus.
No.
It was either a gnome or it was definitely a gnome. Never mind, it wasn't a halfling. It was a gnome.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Was it one of the people that I sat down with at the bar?
No. You feel a tap on your shoulder, and you turn your head, and you see Zima, the one living member of the Brass Scales that you have met.
Oh no.
Says,
Thought he was a dwarf.
Can
no, the
someone-
dwarf died.
Can someone give me a refresher on Zima?
Yeah, so
forgot about her.
y'all went to a mine. Tried to protect a dwarf from getting attacked by goblin dogs, and that, I mean,
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
why the only thing you remember from that night might be the dogs, but
That's right. We sent
We
her
buried the dwarf, yeah.
away after
Yeah.
we claimed we were in the Brass Scales.
yeah. So she's like,
Mm.
sounds like you have been busy since leaving the Brass Scales. She says, kind of crooking an eyebrow.
Oh, well, you know, they sent me on assignment and I was away for a while. And I was,
She can't even hold it together for more than a moment. She like snort laughs. She's like, I know you're not in the scales. It's
oh, thank God.
I owe you all my life. I'm not not here to kick you out of camp or anything.
Well, I greatly appreciate that.
Oh my god.
And she looks over to your party and back at you, and she's like, "I'm gonna go speak to your friends if you would like to." Well, she kind of like looks over. She's like, "Feed this man some of that soup. Come now. Be hospitable." I'm sure he's not peddling his stories purely for your entertainment. And she like turns and walks towards the party, and they start like they kind of clear their throat and they start serving you a bowl of stew.
What's
It smells
funny
really good.
is that Sonus would never ever think about exchanging stories for food.
Yeah, Sonus is actually purely just
Yeah,
telling
he's
the
like
story.
literally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to entertain you.
Yeah.
Like, please fucking.
Are you not entertained?
Well,
Yeah.
with that rough of a performance, though, did you maybe like mistake your name for Ben Griff a couple times in there? So you're like, you know, the Midwest battle, Ben.
Oh
Wait.
no. No, I like maybe I referred to I said the bootleg or like whatever like dumb nickname I gave to Ben Griff a few times and like
Bootleg
you're-
battle.
yeah the dollar store battle.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever the
The Copper General Store paddle.
yeah the Copper General Store battle.
Yeah. So Zima walks over to the rest of you, and she, like waves. I assume you guys like. I just assume you were already looking at Sonus.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh shit!
you've
Oh,
probably made
shit.
eye contact with Zima a couple times already.
It's one of those things where there's like where like we're in the background
Yeah.
of the shot and like the camera zooms in.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just all our eyes are super wide, like, oh no.
Nah, she she walks over, and like, I think gives just a little like bow, and says, "So I hear from your friend over there that y'all are God Slayers now, God Killers."
Okay, I had one rule.
I mean, we were dog slayers at first, so if you just move a couple letters around, then it makes all the sense, don't you think?
It does.
You know how stories are.
Whether your friend was telling the truth or just bluffing for a meal, sounds like you have been busy.
I don't think he was actually bluffing for a meal, to be honest. I think he truly believes those people wanted to hear the story about the bootleg paddle.
That's fair. I mean, no disrespect to your friend, or the. She pauses. Bootleg paddle.
No, that's not him. I don't think. It's getting a little confusing.
It's pretty easy, Ludwig. It's not that complicated. The
It-
Benjamin Griff is the
Yeah.
bootleg paddle.
Benjamin Griff.
Very
Benjamin
formal.
Griff with 2 ends. Like
Benny Boy Griff.
It's just I'm confused. Sometimes he says he's the bootleg. I don't know. But yes, yeah.
Benjamin.
Oh my goodness.
John.
No, it's good to see you. I see you made it back safe with all the miners.
She nods. Yeah. Yeah, we got out of there. We were able to arrive in Eden safely. If you don't mind me asking, I've been curious. What was your purpose there? Clearly you're not in the scales.
We were sent there to just survey a mine. No, not that glorious.
I
Fair.
don't believe that we were particularly dishonest about it. I believe that the only thing we lied about was our membership.
Well, and who we knew. A little spoiler alert there. Doesn't exist.
Yes, I discovered that on returning to Eden. But as I told your friend, I owe you my life. I'm not going to hold a grudge about that.
That's good.
Oh, thank goodness.
Honestly, I feel like you should be a bit entertained. The fact that we completely made somebody up.
It was a very entertaining secret to discover.
Well, I'm glad you kept your sense of humor about it. Anyway, so what are you guys doing now? Not to change the topic to anything else.
She turns her head and kind of like looks north. She's like, I believe our next goal is... We're headed off to deal with Salamander, but first, I think we're headed to the same place you are. We're going to Green Rock Hill Watchtower. And then, well, I suppose we're driving out the Salamander's lieutenant from his camp. Hoping to force them back north.
Oh, they're this close, huh? This
Nods.
is like the front line? Oh.
About 20 miles from here, less.
And is there no other way up north?
Oh, well, if you're just trying to get past. She pauses and she kind of looks at you. She kind of realizes what that question might mean. It's like there's plenty of space to either side of the camp. They haven't set up any kind of blockade. They don't have the resources here for that. Their only presence here so far is the camp, and they have a lot of people there, but Eden still has most of the force in this area.
That's good, at least. Yeah, I think we're just kind of out here to see if we can help in any way. You know, just kind of wandering, right, guys?
And Ludwig. Salamander's lieutenant could, Oh. She, like, catches herself. She's like, I guess I see what you're saying, but... Whisper to Ludwig. Should at least, like, help.
Yeah, I mean, we probably should, but that'll slow us down. I mean, if we're looking for like a clean shot, we should just leave them here. But I would also feel a lot better if the brass scales were with us when we got to Salamander.
Oh, well, now that you mention it, I guess we probably should just skedaddle.
Yeah, maybe.
Up to you, though. I mean, look, if we do help them out, I think we should get a head start. As soon as we kill the lieutenant, book it.
So Zima, this lieutenant, what can you tell us about them?
Oh, well, they call him the Burning Man, I believe. Some kind of wolf creature.
Salamander sure does love his dogs.
It seems to be the case.
Yeah,
They say it's
I
got-
think.
Well, they say his head is engulfed in fire, and in a veil of fire, and even when that's removed, his eyes are on fire beneath that. So, well, apparently the only thing they love more than dogs is fire.
I mean, it's in the name, isn't it? Has anyone actually seen Salamander?
Oh, I'm sure plenty of people have seen him, but none of our scouts.
I guess I'd never actually asked when I was in Eden if anybody has fucking seen this thing. What a massive oversight.
Yeah. We're just gonna gamble on it, like, oh, we killed this lizard thing. They'll be like, I don't know what that is, but it's not salamander.
Well, this is like a running joke between me and Dylan. Is that like, is he a literal salamander, or is
Does he
he
have scales?
like, or is he just
He-
calling himself Salamander?
He is a literal salamander, and literal salamanders don't have scales.
Yeah. Okay. They also don't have teeth big enough to make knives out of.
True.
Who's rotating the token? My job.
It started out nice and like up and down, like nice T shape, and then it got a little cattywampus, and I don't know who did that. God damn it.
Zim, I hope you understand, but I don't particularly feel comfortable speaking much more here.
Yeah. Well, fair. You're among allies, but perhaps not friends.
Just out of curiosity, I know your boss is here. How did he feel about the news about the mine?
Oh, I don't think he even heard. It's more of a logistics
Oh.
thing.
Oh, say, okay, great. All right.
Sorry, should I have said that he's coming to cut off your head right now? She kind of grins.
Honestly, I
think
would
that was
not
my-
like that.
That would actually probably help with a lot of your anxiety.
I mean, I guess.
So was it just Eden you were prospecting the mine for?
So out of character, was it for the Bronze Darters that we were doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a job for the Bronze
Can't
Darters
quite
for
remember.
Kirtan.
Okay.
For Eden? Question mark.
My
Like,
notes are kind of garbage.
If
right
I
from
said it
that
was,
area.
if we said it was for Eden, it wouldn't be lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Solace would definitely say, yeah, like yes, it was for Eden.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like that's. I mean, all we do is for Eden, so.
I've heard of many of the Rascal's exploits.
She kind of just like a hint of a smile, like a proud smile.
We don't have a spot to camp. Do you mind if we just like?
Oh, certainly. She like gestures to kind of a spot at the end of the camp, but there's there's plenty of grassland around. It's like set up your tents, join us at the fires. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sorry, I
Solace bows and
Okay. I think at
he
that,
starts heading over
yeah, she
that direction.
she lets you guys be for now. Passes the other fire again and says, "Good luck with your adventures, Midwest Paddle," and heads into the crowd.
He would probably realize, like, after she had walked away and been like shouted just in the general direction she went of
Oh, why, thank you.
See, like, her head move in a little chuckle. She doesn't turn around again. All right. So yeah, you guys can set up camp. And then where do you want to go? Kind of are basically at the end of the road, so you can branch off whichever direction you want.
Well, it seems that we have kind of a choice. Do we want to branch off, or do we want to help out?
You should at least do a little bit of helping.
Yes, I believe that, maybe as a warm-up we go take down Salamander's lieutenant in the whole fray. And, we just get out, go on our merry way before the brass scales are able to move. I feel like...
That is a good point. We do have such a smaller group that our movements will be easier. Yeah, that sounds good to me if you guys are wanting to.
So yeah, you guys can you can control the token. You can show me whatever path you guys are gonna go on.
Well, we're gonna stop in Green Rock Hill, right?
All right,
Yeah.
do they have hold on, real quick, do they have horse?
Do they have horses at Green Rock Hill, or are these guys?
At the camp, yeah.
There's a handful, not a bunch. Like there's not one for every man or anything.
I would just like to, in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah.
Like, after everyone goes to sleep. I could just do a stealth check.
Okay.
Oh god, that's terrible.
It's not
I'm
particularly
gonna-
great.
I'm gonna hero point.
Okay. Not
Wow.
particularly great.
Wow. Nice.
I guess I was gonna try and cut their horses free, so they don't have...
Yeah, so I guess let's, you do try this, right? You try to stealth and you're trying to move around through camp. There's a lot of people. It's, hard to get through, and I think someone... you're going towards the horses, and, there's just a soldier sitting there, watching the horses, basically. Just sitting on a little, stump. He's, whittling away at something, and, maybe he, I don't know. Maybe you don't know he's there, and you walk around the corner towards the horses as soon as there's a little sound of wood splintering with one of the runs of the knife. He's like, "Oh, hello there. Offer a piss or something."
Offer... Oh, what?
Off for a piss?
Well, I look like I... Never mind. She's just gonna leave. Not even gonna, dignify that.
All right, he continues whittling, and yeah, you're unfortunately barred from the horses. All right, so yeah, next day I guess, where you guys can heal and everything from the rest, and which way do you guys are going to Green Rock Hill next?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. If we're gonna help out, that we should probably meet their forces there.
Okay. Yeah. So you head north, the road heads up into the hills, and you can start seeing kind of the top of the watchtower over the hills, and you arrive, and there's just a nice big sturdy stone watchtower, and then just kind of a wooden fort built up around it, just wooden fortifications with kind of a not extremely permanent walls and scaffolding behind the walls. It's not this isn't a keep or a fort, really. It's perhaps not the bastion of defense that the commander suggested.
Does it look like there's a lot more of the brass scales around at this point?
You guys probably You either left at the same time or slightly earlier because they had more of a camp to clean up, although they were like fast and efficient with packing up from what you saw. But you arrive slightly before them, able to move a little more agilely. But there are a lot of soldiers moving around in the fort, kind of getting equipment ready. A couple horses stabled. There's a lot of people. A lot of people moving about, and there's definitely like camps outside. Because whenever this fortification was made, like, it was pretty recently constructed, but not as recently as like the push by Salamander's lieutenant. So it's not really meant to hold this many people. It's yeah.
It might have been tough to hang out there for the night. Wouldn't have been like an inn or anything.
Yeah, not really. Like, it's got a barracks and bunks, but it sure seems like they're full if they've got like a bunch of like tents set up outside.
This is what is protecting Eden?
Yeah, I'll admit I'm a little underwhelmed.
Yeah, I guess not really ideal.
Yeah, it makes me think that the right choice is to stop this fella. Otherwise, there won't be an Eden to go back to.
Now that's pretty good.
Yeah, so let's go try and find the leader here, I guess.
Well, I believe we know at least someone here, right? Isn't your older brother here? Eve.
My brother is here, isn't he?
That's an interesting question. I think there's a higher than usual chance of that being the case. I don't know if you know.
Yeah. Eve's gonna be like, maybe, but do we really even want to run
Yes,
set?
your
I mean,
brother. Isn't he like kind of a bigwig? We should definitely go talk to him.
is that really necessary?
I mean, yeah, probably he's a. Do you not want to go talk to your brother?
Solace just like chuckles.
Not exactly ideal here.
Well, either way, we should at least speak to someone who's in command. See
Hey,
what needs
no,
to be done. See what we can
That's
do
an
to
idea
help.
I can get behind there. Which unfortunately might be my brother. Oh god.
So yeah, you guys approach. You do get like stopped at the gate.
I'm gonna do it. So, all right. Before we go up, I'm gonna do a disguise check.
Sure.
Just look like a commoner.
Uh-huh.
Just like hood up, like kind of like disguise, like makeup
Solace
off my
gets
face.
some dirt and just throws it at you.
Hey! No, there's an odd to this. Gee. Oh
Right, you need to be dirty.
Do you want one of my things that will just change how you look?
No, thanks. Is it gonna slither down my throat?
No, this stuff's like a putty.
Hard pass. Yeah, I'm just gonna put on a I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys walk up. There's like guards at the top of the gate, and they like say like, "What's your business?" as you approach.
Let me read my character sheet. I guess we just Solace says that we're reinforcements from Eden. We've come to see what we can do.
They kind of look at each other and like what company are you with? You don't look like stags or legion.
We are sent directly by the council. We are not a company.
I'm gonna aid. I'm gonna do a diplomacy aid. Be like,
Sure.
yes, we are.
We're a specialty force, you could say.
We are Seed Team 6. God damn.
You are
I guess
basically ignoring.
I guess I also should probably do this, right? 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
trying to-
Well, there you go. Yep. All right. Sure. They're like, oh, well, that's good to hear. Good. We'll open the doors. And there's like a thunk of the doors being unlatched, and they start to get pulled open. And yeah,
What,
you
that's
guys are
Seed
like,
Team 6. I just came up with that myself.
That was good.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. Is it like a pun or something?
I hadn't really thought of it.
1,000-yard stare from Eve.
I just thought, seed because. What?
So, I guess let's go try and find your brother then, huh?
Yes,
I'll be
yes.
honest, I'm very curious to see, what your siblings are like.
No need to get that curious. It's not the biggest deal in the world.
yeah, you guys are probably being like led to the whatever, like led to this like this is like really fresh lumber used to construct all of this. And you're led into a very new looking building that hasn't really been weathered by the elements yet. And led inside, led through a door. The soldier kind of announces you and says, like, specialty force sent from the council. Like, bows. You guys enter, and there's two men standing there. There's one that you don't immediately recognize, and then Eve, there is your brother.
I guess Solus like hears this. I'm like, oh god.
What do I hear?
Oh, Adam. Oh, Denala.
I like lean over and I whisper, I'm like, you do realize if it's mercy you're praying for, that's Scala.
Mercy, let's just get this over with.
So, from my understanding, Seth is not a commander, right? Like, he is, but he's like
He is very important, but from the looks of it, just like glancing at the two in the room, there's definitely
the
like
other guy is one card, right?
the other guy's the general, yeah, and brother is. This is where I wish I knew military ranks better, but definitely like the second in command. And so the general kind of looks
Eve,
over.
Yeah,
Your brother is
go
like
say hello.
staring at a map, and the general looks over and says, "Ah, from the brass scales."
Not exactly.
Oh, very well. Didn't know more third party help was on the way. Says like looking at Eve's brother.
Eve is like kind of cowering behind, like trying to like kind of blend in behind Sonus.
And we're just 4 citizens of Eden trying to do our best for our city.
Well, very well. Sent by the council though. What is your purpose here? What are you? What do you
We're
specialize
just-
in?
Okay, so this is where I don't want to just say that like we're specialized in god killing, even though that's kind of our specialty.
Yeah.
I feel like we should lead with.
I actually think I just say that. Like, Solace, like, looks at everybody and sees like Eve is cowering.
Yeah.
It just says that we're a specialty force of god killers.
And I think
Yes, you can say that again. Like
His-
trying to like clearly disguise her voice. Yes, you could definitely say that again.
so. His
Oh
eyes,
my goodness.
the general's eyes go a little like wide, and
Oh God.
yeah, you cower behind pretty well.
No, that's like to disguise my voice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you are.
Let go of my invisibility potion. You can't have one.
So like, the general's eyes go a little wide. He's like, "Are you
Sorry,
now?"
it would be deception. It would be deception.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, it's still good.
And Eve's brother like looks up at the general and then over at the group as that like catches his attention a little bit, and maybe we take a break there.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, quick like. I mean, I know we've been going for a while, but maybe like 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
That'll work back kind of around 8:40.
Yeah.